Hello and welcome to Write That Down. I'm your host, Elizabeth G. Morgan, and today's topic is going to be how to be successful with the right frame of mind. You were born rich, as Bob Proctor says, and I'd like to share a poem with you that is in the beginning of his book, You Were Born Rich. It's called The One and Only You, and the author is James T. Moore. This is great food for thought, so let's begin. One and only you. Every single blade of grass and every flake of snow is just a wee bit different. There's no two alike, you know. From something small like grains of sand to each gigantic star, all were made with this in mind, to be just what they are. How foolish then to imitate, how useless to pretend, since each of us comes from a mind whose ideas never end. There'll only be just one of me to show what I can do, and you should likewise feel very proud. That's only one of you. That is where all starts, with you, a wonderful, unlimited human being. Well, I think that this is just the greatest point to be in the beginning of his book. It re-enhances to us just how wonderfully unique we all are. Now, as you know, Bob Proctor is a philosopher. He is a gentleman who has motivated many, many people to become successful in their lives, to change their way of thinking. And he is a firm believer in the law of attraction. Now, all of us who went through school are familiar with Einstein. And if you've ever read any of Einstein's writings or the information that he did, you will find that he speaks very much about the law of attraction, along with many of our other esteemed geniuses and philosophers. And these gentlemen were very successful in their life. So that gives us good, positive mentorship. And it sends us a message. It lets us know that these great leaders all shared this in common. They knew the secret to being successful in their life by always keeping a goal in mind through law of attraction. Now, sometimes we really truly have to work real hard to train our brain to really look at our perspective in life and just rearrange the gears in our head and put our head on straight. It's not our spouse, it's not our job, it's not the guy next door, it ain't the guy that cut us off in traffic. It's how we perceive it. It's the thoughts that we put out there. Maybe we should look at it through a whole new pair of glasses and just kind of see what is the positive in it? What is the good? Look for the good in everything, because we can definitely be faced and find the bad. And in order for us to guard against negative input and to keep ourselves focused on our goal, we first must have the rightful thought in our head. And we will draw those positive energies from the universe, and the universe will deliver to us wonderful things. So let's think about this in this way. If you have a picture in your mind as something you really want and you picked a goal, if you can see yourself there before it ever happens, you're on your way. You're really in line with exactly what you need to do first. You have to have a goal in mind. You hear that taught and preached. Well, the reason why is because that's what you have to do to make it work. So if you want to buy a house and you say, well, when I get the money, I'll buy that house. Or you say, I want a new car. Well, when I get the money, I'll buy that new car. Or a living room seat. Well, when we get the money, we'll buy a new living room seat. Or when we get the money, we'll have a baby. The thing is if you don't have what you want in mind already as your goal, and you cannot picture yourself already there before it ever happens, then you're working backwards. You're thinking backwards. You're doing it backwards, and you're working against yourself. Because if you say, that's the house I want, you've dreamed about it. You've seen a photo of it. You cut a picture out of a magazine, or you took a picture of one that you liked, or you went and you looked at floor plans and you picked out that floor plan. Then in your mind, you have already pictured yourself accomplishing that goal. You have already made up your mind you want that goal with all of your heart, because now you can touch it. Now you can picture it. Now you can bear it in mind. And that, my friend, is how you bring the universe into helping you deliver your law of attraction. So by you already picturing yourself there, having already gotten that goal, the money will come, because you will do what you need to do in order to align yourself and position yourself to reach that goal. So think about the goal first, and then the money and all the steps you need to take are going to present themselves in a forward way and help you to reach that goal in a very short period of time. It is always important to anyone planning in business or opening up a new business or starting a new venture to plan it. Even if you're going on vacation, a lot of times you plan for your vacation. You put in to have the time off from your job, and you say, I'm going to take this amount of time, and you go ahead and you put back the money, or you make reservations or flights, rental cars, the motel, everything that you need to do to schedule yourself and plan for that. So, why wouldn't you also do that for your larger goals in your life? If you're going to plan something as simple as a vacation that you wish to go on, or a trip, or an adventure, or going kayaking, or going fishing, or whatever your hobby may be, or whatever gives you pleasure and happiness, then you must also plan your success and the travel to get to that success. And that means you have to decide in your mind and in your heart, and decide that is really what you want. And then put that out there, think positive, think towards it, picture it in your mind, put it on your goal board, put it on the refrigerator, stick it on your dashboard, wherever you need. Save it as your screensaver on your cell phone by all means, so that you are constantly seeing your goal in mind. It is only that much that you need to do, and then the rest is going to come to you. Now, some additional tips I'd like to add. Any of you who do any kind of social media to get the word out about what services you offer or what kind of business you're in, and letting them know, don't forget to also share them the good aspects in order for them to picture how they could potentially get success by following your offers and your system. You have to first fold that out, and you have to plant that seed and let it grow and become mature to where it can be plucked and enjoyed. So, therefore, it's going to develop and go through its evolution of becoming this beautiful fruit or plant that you are growing. So, by planting the seeds, so make sure that you convey very easily in little baby steps, little chunks, and continue putting that message out there of how your plan or what you have to offer, what you want to do, is going to benefit those that it comes in contact with. And make sure you are getting it in front of those who will benefit from it the most. If you're trying to sell a guy a car that owns a car dealership, that's really not in line, and it doesn't make sense to do it. But if you know a guy who is walking on his way to work and he could benefit from a car, then chances are you can ideally say, oh, I know what kind of car he needs that will help him. He needs something that's dependable, comfortable to ride in, and can get him from point A to point B and fit his budget. Right there, we very easily solved his problem. So if you know the pain point and you know how your offer can solve their problem, that's what you do. Start working with that goal in mind, and those things that you are wanting are going to come to you naturally, easily, and by adaptation, a very gentle adaptation, and just mold right in there. Now, other tips, make sure you always have a positive thought in your mind, keep a glad heart, and make you a list like Bob Proctor does. Every single day, he writes down 3 things on a piece of card that's the size of a business card, his goals, and the things he is grateful for. And he always begins with 3 things that he is grateful for every single day. And on the flip side, he includes his goals. And he carries that card around with him in his pocket every day. And every morning when he gets up, he begins again and he reads them and he writes them down. He reads them and places them in his pocket and takes them with him. So, from the great philosopher who is still kicking at 86 years old, Bob Proctor. Now, Bob Proctor wrote the book, as I said before, You Were Born Rich. If you would like to get Bob Proctor's book, you can find the ebook on his website and just type it in and you can download that ebook. I will put a link underneath this podcast in the description box so that you can easily go there. And he has a service that he is in partnership with his partner, and they offer all kinds of services. But make sure you read everything you can get your hands on that Bob Proctor is related to. He was also the leader over The Secret that you can now find currently running on Netflix. The books are available as well, and I have enjoyed watching the Netflix The Secret. You will too. Great inspiration will really help you get your mind straight if you are struggling and you can't figure out what you need to do to better your finances, become financially free, and to be able to put your offer on the map with great success. That is the go to that will help you. And trust me, I have already seen positive results in just a couple of days after watching The Secret because I realized I wanted people to fit into my idea when really I need to be happy with my own idea and happy with myself. And once I figured out that, I realized I truly was working backwards. I was working against myself. I had expectations on people, and that is not the way it works. I must first look after me, focus on me. And I really, truly, overnight changed my attitude, literally in moments of watching that documentary, The Secret, on Netflix. It changed my life because now I understand. Now I get it. Now I truly understand the law of attraction. And when you get done watching it, you will too. If you have seen The Secret, if you are familiar with Bob Proctor, if you have read You Were Born Rich, I would love to hear from you. Please leave me your comments. And if you are new to my podcast, make sure to follow it. Share it with those that you think will benefit from the messages I have and the tips and tidbits I'll be sharing on. Write that down because this is the podcast that will compel you to grab a sheet of paper and a pen and write that down. So, write that down. Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich ebook, and The Secret on Netflix. This is Elizabeth thanking you for tuning in to Write That Down podcasting, and I look forward to the next one. Follow me. All links are in the description box underneath this podcast, and I'll be talking to you soon. Have a great, great day, and write that down.